All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Crypto, Coffee, and LoFi. It's a Friday. I've had a fucking shit week. Legit. Probably one of the worst weeks that I've had all year, coming straight out the gate. I've been away from my PC pretty much all over the shop this week. That is probably why. Not enough time to properly concentrate on what's going on, and not enough time to realize that I wasn't even following my plan. So before we get started, I'd like to give a special thanks to Delta Exchange for sponsoring this video. If you want to help the series out, click the link in the description below. Use my sign up code, sign up with them, make a deposit, make a few trades. It helps us out. It helps keep the series going and providing this free analysis for you all. So, I hope the music isn't too loud. I didn't do a test run, but I think it's gonna be all good. So if you are new here, make sure to go through the start of my YouTube channel and click on all of the YouTube tutorials there. They're all free. I dive into some of the deeper parts of the strategy, but for those that want to look a little bit deeper into everything, there's a link in the description below. You can pick up a copy of the strategies, PDFs, videos, everything like that. But of course, you don't have to do that. I'll still always be providing the free analysis, So if you are new here, go and watch those videos. But essentially, all I'm doing here when you see me analyzing the charts is charting up this one pattern. So what is that pattern? If I'm looking for a long, let's say we're in support, I'll look for a key low to form. I'll then wait for that key low to be swept. I then look for price to break up above the high that was responsible for taking that low. Once we break above and close above, I then look for price to revisit this range from the high to the low, or I look for the same pattern to form again. Now there can be some space and time between these two setups forming. Okay, they don't have to form straight away like this, but this is just kind of the strategy basics. So there's a real example here. I'm drawing out the same pattern that I've been drawing for, well, it's been months now, really, hey. So you can see there's the key low. We swept the high. Oh, we broke above the high, is responsible for taking that low. Then we took out these key lows here, forming the same pattern again. So taking out this low, then breaking above the high is responsible for taking that low. Then we chopped about here, forming the same patterns again. So sweeping out that low. Then returning to the range, taking out these lows, breaking above the high. So you can see this is price accumulating. So players are accumulating below these levels, and we're not trying to predict that they're accumulating below. Once price breaks above the high that swept the low, that's them showing their hand, showing strength in the market. Then we return to the range, see the same thing again. Buyers buying in here, strength above the high, and then they defend their position once we return to this range here. So that's a good sign that we're seeing some strength. So I've entered a swing long position at this high here with my stop below this low. We do have a bunch of equal lows resting below here, so we may get another sweep below, something like this. If we get something like that, I will be stopped out of this position, but I'll look to re-enter if we get the reaccumulation. Okay, because until this gets invalidated, I'm happy taking longs inside of that range. But for this session, try not to overcomplicate things. I'm bullish on the higher time frames until my higher time frame entry gets invalidated. Okay, so it's really simple stuff. So taking out all of these equal lows, then breaking above the high that was responsible for taking that low, and taking out these lows yesterday. So what I would be looking for here would be for price to retest the exact candle that was responsible for taking these levels. All right, so the orders when they reach into this level are going to be mitigated, hopefully. So once we reach down here, I will look for some more accumulation, something like that. If we get that, then that's the intraday entry to long. For my intraday positions, if you haven't watched the video where I explain What I do for targets, I'll link it in the description below, but essentially there's two kinds of targets. For me anyway, there's liquidity-based targets and then there's range-based targets. So a liquidity-based target would be a double top or like a double bottom, something like that. A range-based target would be this, for example. So rather than targeting at the high, I would look, where is the low that was responsible for the previous down move? You can see we're currently in a lower time frame downtrend here. Where was the move that was responsible for taking that downtrend? Where was the most recent distribution? You see we swept out that high. Where was the low that swept the high? Right here. So this would be the inside range objective. So if we get the accumulation here, my first target would be this level. I would trim probably 70 to 80% of my position there. If we do get some distribution, I'll cut the rest. If we don't get some distribution, then we can look to target this high and then further up. This high, oh, this low and this low. Okay, so that's pretty simple. That's Bitcoin. Remember, because I have a higher time frame bullish bias here, I'm only going to be looking really for intraday longs. Right, I can obviously go short, but then I'm kind of just playing with fire and I'm going against the strategy. That's what I did all of this week. I said, if you go back and look at the previous video, I literally said in that video, all I'm going to do is take my higher time frame position, and until my higher time frame position starts to trend, I'm not even going to bother with lower time frame day trades. And what did I do? I jump straight in the charts every day, look for lower time frame day trading positions. It's dumb as shit, but that's, you know, that's what happens when you can't pay close attention to the charts and take time to like reflect on what you're doing. So that was a mistake. But either way, this is kind of going to be the final opportunity for Bitcoin here, in my opinion. If we break below this low, it's not looking good. If we break below this low, we're obviously going to take these equal lows. And then if we don't accumulate below those equal lows, we go much lower. So I think taking a position here on the lower time frames in line with my higher time frame trend is the smart move. So that's it for Bitcoin. Looking for this reaction, hoping we get it. Similar story here on ETH. So you can see we took out all of those lows, broke up above the highs responsible for taking those lows, taking these equal lows here and reaching into some lower time frame accumulation that you can see on the M5. So these are the two levels I'll be watching to see if we get another lower time frame entry. So something like this, taking out these lows, reaching in here and heading up, or coming down, taking out this low similar to Bitcoin and then reaching up. We take a look. This is kind of what's leading me to believe that Bitcoin may take all of these equal lows right here. If you look at the price action relatively between Bitcoin and Ethereum, Ethereum looks ready for its leg up here, but Bitcoin doesn't. So that can mean one of two things. Obviously, it can mean that we're just going to head up from here and I'm not going to get my lower time frame entry on Bitcoin, or it can mean we get a much deeper retracement on Ethereum and Bitcoin heads further down into those equal lows. Now, what leads me to believe that? You can see we swept out this high, this low, breaking above the high right here, returning to the range, taking out this low, then breaking above the high. Since this leg up here, we haven't yet revisited the accumulation. So that's leading me to believe if we do have another leg down, hopefully Bitcoin just takes out those equal lows and then Ethereum retests this level. So for a lower time frame entry, I would rather enter on Bitcoin, not really too confident in what I'm seeing on ETH at the moment. What else was I looking at? Atom. Similar story here on Atom as well. So retesting this trend line here and accumulating, which is a good sign, but really still not seeing any signs of strength. I'm already in this position, so taking out a low, breaking above the high, then seeing this massive leg up, returning back to the candle in the lower time frames as responsible for taking that low, mitigating the orders and seeing some reaccumulation, which is a good sign, but it's still looking really shaky. If Bitcoin and Ethereum decide to have that next leg down, then my position's fucked. But, you know, the concerning thing about this here is if this level doesn't hold, then we go for this low, in my opinion. That level doesn't hold, then I think we see something like this, and then we take this low. Then if we don't see reaccumulation here, then we're heading much lower into this level of consolidation. So obviously I'm looking at entering around $23. It's not a spot position, but if my levels start to break and we don't get this accumulation, then we can head much lower. No worries, I think I'm gonna cut that there. Yeah, if you're interested in the way that I'm trading and drawing up the charts, link in the description below, or you can pick up a copy of the indicator here. The purpose of the indicator is not for automated trading. The idea behind it when I first created it was, if you want to learn a manual price action based strategy, you can use the indicator to kind of help you draw up the charts. The idea was you turn this on and it helps you find an entry, helps you find where you should put your stop loss, and it helps you pick a target. Now the target part being the most important for me, because I'm sure all of you may know when you're in a trade, it can get quite difficult to cut it where you're meant to. The idea was to have a robot kind of helping me and guiding me make the decisions. Now, I've been doing this for years, but still I see a lot of value in that. So there's the indicator there, and of course there's the strategy. If you have any questions about any of this, you can hit me up in Main's Discord or in the public Discord I just opened, or on Twitter. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out for free. No dramas. All right, it's Friday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right, I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.